Good morning, students. I was continuing with your chapter, The Medieval World. Today, I will discuss about the medieval period in India. As I told you, that the ancient period starts from 1st to 8th century, medieval is from 8th to 18th, and the modern is from 18th century onwards. Medieval period in India marks with the death of Harshavardhan in 647. This was the event which marked the end of the ancient period in India. Harsha was the last Indian king who was able to establish a very big empire, and his empire expanded from the river Indus to river Narmada. So, extended from river Indus to river Narmada. Now, after the death of such an important ruler, Harshavardhan, there were several small kingdoms. Which emerged, and the rulers of this kingdom were constantly fighting among each other. As a result, the disunity among the Indian rulers was felt very much. There was no unity at all among the Indian rulers. They were constantly fighting among each other, and this was noticed by the Muslim conquerors who attacked India from the northwest. And the victory of these conquerors changed the course of Indian history. So what was the main cause of the foreign invasion? Was the disunity among the Indian rulers. After the death of Harshavardhan, there was a vacuum created in the Indian history and among the rulers, which gave an opportunity to the foreign invaders to attack India. The series of Turk, Afghan, the Persian and the Mongol dynasties that ruled India from the 11th to 18th century formed the medieval period in India. So it started from the Turks, Afghan, Persian and the Mongols, and ultimately it ended in the 18th century. After the 18th century, the coming of the Mughals started the modern period in India. As I told you last day, that with the end of the last dynasty, that was the Mughal dynasty, and the last ruler was Bahadur Shah Jaffar, who was arrested by the British and he was exiled to Rangoon. And in front of Bahadur Shah Jaffar, both the sons were shot dead, to make sure that after the death of Bahadur Shah Jaffar, no one becomes the next Mughal emperor of India. With that marked the beginning of the British rule. First of all, the East India Company ruled over India, and then after the revolt of 1857, the British passed the Queen Victoria Proclamation of 1858. A law was passed according to which the power to rule India shifted from East India Company to the British Crown. That means India came under the control of the British King or the British Queen. That is known as the British Crown. And in India, a viceroy was appointed. Lord Canning became the first viceroy. So you can understand, dear students, that after the coming of the Mughals, it marked the beginning of the modern period. But we will centralize our topic of discussion on the medieval period. Now let us come to discuss that what were the important sources of the medieval period. First of all, books and other written accounts. A number of writers, both Indian and foreign writers, during their stay in India, they have given a written account which gives a very clear picture about the period of the medieval India. This gives a picture about social, cultural, political, and some of these books are listed in the table below, which you can see. The name of some such important books are Katha Sarit Sagar, which was written by Somdev, Shishu Palavadha, written by Magha, Ras Tarangini was written by Kalhana. It's a story about Kashmir. then Vikramadeva Charita, Bilhana, Prithviraj Raso. Prithviraj Raso, it's a story about the king Prithviraj, which was written by his court poet Chandabardai, written in Sanskrit. So a list is given in your book, some important books you must go through, because these forms the important source of information about the medieval period. In India, copper plate and stone inscriptions list the names of kings, those who gifted land to the temples and to scholars. Now you see, another important source of information are the coins. If I ask you that how coin help us to know about that period, that is how coin is a source. The first thing, in the coin you will see the picture of the kings are embossed. So from that coin we can understand who was the ruler of that particular period. Is it clear? In the coin the pictures of the kings were given, through which we can understand that who was the ruler and what was his period of reign, because at the bottom of the coin it is written from which period to which period the king ruled. This is one advantage. Second is, of what metal the coin is made. It shows the economic condition of the king. Now suppose if the coin is made up of gold, we can say that the king is very prosperous king. If the coin is made up of silver, we can say he is little bit prosperous, and if it is made of bronze, then we can say that the king was not so prosperous, or the king was not so rich. So these are the important informations that we get from the coin. The Mughals in the medieval India paid salaries in cash rather than in kind. Hope all of you know what is the meaning of cash and in kind. Cash means if a person is working directly, he will get money or the currency. Kind means some type of goods will be given in return of service. That is known as kind. But during the Mughal period, the workers who used to work, they used to get salary in cash, and there was a high circulation of silver coin called rupiah. During the medieval period, there was a circulation of the coin, silver coins known as rupiah, and the gold coins were known as mohar. Even today, many of you may have the gold coins in your house, which is known as the mohar. These coins provide useful information about the Mughal period. Next we have the monuments. Monuments provides us a lot of information about the period. How? Of what material the monument is made up of. Who made the monument? What was the purpose of making the monument? So all this information we get from the monuments. Say for example, all of you must have heard the name of the Taj Mahal. Why Shah Jahan made Taj Mahal? What was the purpose? There is a story behind the construction of Taj Mahal. So every monument has its own historical importance. Why it was made? Who made it? So all these informations we get. So with this we come to the end of this chapter. So the main chapter, once again, let me make the recap of the medieval period in Europe. So medieval period in India starts from 8th to 18th century. That is the medieval period, and the end of the ancient period is with the death of Harshavardhan. With the death of Harshavardhan starts the medieval period, and during this period some important things happen, like the Arabs, then the spread of Arab to other countries, the sea voyages, Renaissance. So all these important things took place in this chapter. So with this I come to the end of the medieval period in India. Now in my next class I will send you the study material, I will send you the question and answers, and you must write it down in your own copy. Okay? Okay, thank you very much, students.